Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bogart of Aspect Ministries, and I've been doing a series of videos on the Great Flood of Noah. In previous videos, I have compared flood stories from Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, India, Australia, China, East Asia, the Pacific, and many other places. I've been comparing these stories with the story of Noah in the Bible. And so in this video, I want to continue introducing some flood legends from the Americas. We'll go from north to south, starting with Alaska. One of the Alaska Inuit groups, formerly called Eskimos, tell of a great flood accompanied by an earthquake. This deluge swept over the whole land so quickly that just a few people escaped to the mountaintops in skin canoes. Among the Spokane, Nez Perce, and Cayuse Indians of eastern Washington state, this story is told. A mighty flood overflowed the land, and one old man and his family managed to survive on a boat and were blown by the wind to make landfall on a mountain. They stayed on board but sent out a crow to search for dry land. The crow returned without finding any. Later it was sent out again and brought back a leaf in its beak. That told the old man that the water was receding. The Cree tribe of northern Canada record this tale. The trickster spirit Wisagatcock dammed up a stream to capture the great beaver. All day he waited until in the evening the huge beaver did swim toward him. But seeing the trap, the great beaver used magic to cause a muskrat to bite Wisagatcock in the hind parts, who in his pain missed the target, of course. Because of his near escape, the great beaver craved revenge. Wisagatcock broke the dam apart the next day, but the water level actually continued to rise higher and higher, and it flooded the entire world. In fear of what was coming, Wisagatcock built a large raft and took with him many animals. After floating on the raft for 2 weeks, a muskrat left the raft to search for land, but the muskrat was drowned. A raven was sent out next, and he flew around but saw only water. Then, with the help of the wolf, Wisagatcock used magic to make moss grow over the surface of the whole raft. As the wolf ran circles on the raft, the moss expanded into dirt and rocks until the raft became a huge landmass, the current surface of the earth. The Ottawa tribe says this: a deluge once covered the entire earth, and only a man called Nanabuju escaped by floating on a piece of bark. This story is from the Delaware or Lenape tribe. Long ago, people became very evil. The enemy of the people, the strong serpent Maskanako, went about stirring up hatred and fighting among people. The small men fought against Nihaniawit, keeper of the dead. The strong serpent then resolved to destroy all people and caused the black serpent to release the snake water, which spread everywhere, drowning everything that breathed. Manaboso, the grandfather of men, lived on Turtle Island. People swam toward the Turtle Island, but sea monsters killed some of them. Then the daughter of one of the spirits helped some people onto a boat. They begged Manaboso for the help, and he prayed to the turtle to heal all things. When he did that, the waters receded and the great evil went away. The Choctaw tribe of the American South relates their flood legend like this: the high God sent a prophet to warn people of an impending flood. People scoffed and ignored him. When the flood did come, though, the prophet embarked on a raft that he had built. He spent several months on the watery expanse until he saw a black bird. When he signaled to the bird just cawed and flew away. Later he saw and called to a blue-gray bird. That bird moaned, flapped its wings, and then guided the raft towards where the sun was breaking through the clouds. The next morning, the prophet grounded on an island covered with all kinds of animals. He pronounced a curse on the blackbird, which of course we now know is a crow, and he blessed the blue-gray bird, which we now recognize as the dove. The Hopi are a large tribe that lives in the American Southwest, mainly in Arizona. Like some other Native American tribes, they believe that there have been 3 previous worlds before this current one. One version of their flood legend says that Tawa, the creator god, destroyed the 3rd world in a great flood. Before the destruction came, Spider Grandmother Spirit sealed certain righteous people into hollow reeds which floated on the waters. As the waters went down, the reeds washed onto a small piece of dry land, but the people saw nothing else but water. Spider Woman told the people to take more reeds and make boats with them. They could use these boats to sail to various small islands as stepping stones. They took her advice, and after sailing east for a while, they arrived on the mountainous coast of this present Fourth World. For several hundred years before the arrival of the Spanish, the Aztecs ruled a huge empire in central Mexico. Here is one version of their flood account. The great god Tezcatlipoca appeared to a man called Nata and his wife Nana. He told them to stop making pulque, which is a liquor made from the agave plant. Instead, they would soon see waters rising to the sky. When floodwaters came, the earth was completely covered over the tops of the highest mountains. All of the people on earth were drowned or were transformed into fish. The Mixtec people also live in Mexico, mainly in the state of Oaxaca, just to the south of Aztec country. They say that the earth was once heavily populated. However, the human race committed the transgression of working bad magic. They were punished for this with a great deluge. The Mixtecs affirm that they are descended from the few survivors of that flood. The Tarascans live in the state of Michoacan to the west of the Mixtecs. They say that God commanded a man to build a large house and fill it with animals and food. When he had completed the project, it began to rain and continued pouring for 6 months. The house floated on the floodwaters, and he was saved in it, along with those who had helped build the house. When the flood began to subside, the man sent out a raven which did not return because it had plenty of dead bodies to feast on. Then he sent out a dove which returned and told the man what the raven was doing. Ever since, ravens have been cursed to eat carrion. The Mayan peoples are scattered from southern Mexico into Guatemala. Here's their story. Like the Hopis, they believe there have been other worlds before ours. In the one previous to ours, there lived the wood people. These were simply wooden carvings made to look and speak like humans. These wood people multiplied, but they were empty with nothing in their minds and hearts, and they had no consciousness of their Creator. So the Creator, known as the Heart of the Sky, devised a flood to destroy them. It poured all day and all night. The animals broke into the homes of the wooden carvings and ate them. The monkeys of the forest remind us of this event because they look like those wooden people, just images of true humans. People on earth now were made from corn and are the true humans. The Inca were an empire in western South America. In their mythology, the great god Viracocha sent a flood to destroy the evil giant people living around Lake Titicaca. He spared 2 humans, though, in a floating box, who were commanded to restart the human race and bring civilization to the world. Now, I really could go on and on. There were dozens more of these stories. To me, it's obvious that these global legends and stories constitute amazing evidence that the biblical flood is not just some fairy tale from ancient times in the Middle East. It is a record of something catastrophic that actually happened, from which the entire human race is now descended. It tells us that all people are related to one another to one degree or another, which should actually bring us together as human beings. Okay, that's plenty for this video. I'll make one more on this fascinating topic of global flood legends. In the next video, I will wrap things up and I will answer the criticisms of the skeptics who claim that these dozens of flood stories from around the world are not related and do not prove that the Great Flood of Noah was a real historical event remembered by the descendants of the survivors. Till then, this is Dr. Michael Bogart of Aspect Ministries. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It really does help. Thanks.